Emeritus from the Department of Linguistics. I'm very happy to welcome you to the public forum tonight, Linguistic Prejudice, Linguistic Privilege. Before I forget, there's a hashtag over there for the Twitter feed, and there are some linguists who have tuned into it. So it is hashtag LPNYU. If you forget, it's over there. And as long as I'm doing the procedural things, I'll go through this in a moment, but we're going to have all the presentations first, and then after that there will be questions using the two microphones there and there. This program is being filmed and recorded. Those of you who ask questions, you're not going to appear on it because the camera's just focused towards the center. Your voice will be heard, but your fans won't get to see you. So I will come back to that. As I say, the title is Linguistic Prejudice, Linguistic Privilege, but this is about diversity. And as a university community, we value diversity. And there's a certain amount there has been concern that we haven't been doing enough. If you go, as I did today, to the NYU website and type in the word diversity, you get 6,400 hits. So within NYU's website, there are 6,400 hits on diversity. There is a Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion Task Force. There's the Faculty of Arts and Science Diversity Initiative, and it goes on and on. And you could say, well, yeah, it's going to be a lot of talk. And I'm not saying that all 6,400 are going to produce something wonderful, but they acknowledge that NYU wants to do more. They may not have done as much in the past. They want to do more. And what's relevant for me for right now is this is what we want. This is the thing about our university. We're in New York, and diversity is part of New York, too, a part we're proud of. To paraphrase Pete Hamill, New York is the city where nobody looks like you. So, given this commitment and this belief in diversity, it has been painful to see the pushback against diversity in recent times. Tonight, 4 professors from the Department of Linguistics are going to talk about a kind of diversity that hasn't been talked about that much, and that's linguistic diversity. And it's something that even people who are deeply committed to diversity and feel passionately about it may not even be on their radar. It may not have occurred to them that linguistic discrimination is something that they should be concerned about. And yet, as the talks tonight will show, it's another form of discrimination. The talks tonight will be about women's speech, about linguistic minorities, about African American English. We didn't have to stop there. We could have talked about regional accents. We could have talked about the language of immigrants and the discrimination that crops up in both those cases. But really, 4 talks is enough. So I just want you to know that we're talking about things, about groups who are being singled out in other ways, but we want you to think about the linguistic component as well. So we're going to have 4 talks. It will be short. First, Laurel Mackenzie is going to speak on the myth of standard English. She'll be followed by Lisa Davidson, speaking on the science of talking while female, the science and censure of women's voices. And then Greg Guy, life and language at the back of the classroom, linguistic minorities in an educational setting. And finally, Renee Blake, don't call me what I am. I'm being black and articulate. So I'm going to ask you to hold off on your questions until we've heard all the talks. Now, what that usually means is all the questions are about the last talk. So Laurel's going to say things that you're going to want to ask about, and Lisa, and so on. Write down your questions, because we're not going to get any questions until everybody has presented. So write down your questions so you can be sure to ask them even with the amount of time that has passed. As I've mentioned, there's the Twitter hashtag. This is being recorded. It will be available on YouTube through the NYU Linguistics Department. So this part is being filmed. The questions which will come after, and for which you will come to the 2 microphones, your voices will be heard, but you won't be on film. So those are the procedural things. I'm very happy to welcome you and very excited with the 4 speakers. Let me begin by introducing Professor Laurel Mackenzie, speaking on the myth of standard English. Laurel is an assistant professor of linguistics who joined the department last fall after having taught at the University of Manchester in the UK.